Hi everyone, I'm Christina, and this is a social media book tag. So I'm going to be doing the version that Ariel Bissett kind of launched because it has some modifications to the original questions, but I'll have the original creator as well in the description. First question is for Twitter, and it's your favorite short book. This one took me a while to look at because when I thought of short, I thought of something under 250 pages, and I was going through, and there's a lot of books I absolutely love that I think are under that thing, but I was a little bit like, oh, I don't know what to choose. I didn't want to choose something that I've seen a lot of other people choose, so I'm going with one that I haven't seen yet, and it's The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith. It was just a nice evening read. I read it straight through one sitting, but that's the best way to read Jennifer E. Smith. Next up is Facebook, and that's a book that everyone pressured you into reading because I bet you everyone pressured you into getting Facebook. At least that's where I came from. So I thought long and hard about this because, you know, there was tons of books on BookTube. People were like, you have to read, you have to read, you have to read. But I didn't want to pick one that I haven't read yet. This is one that I was super duper pressured into reading by other booktubers, and I loved it. And it's Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I absolutely love. The third social media is Tumblr, and it's a book you read before it was cool. So, how old I am, which is 15, I technically, most YA books say like 14 plus on them if you weren't looking in the jacket like I was back when I was 12 and reading these things. So I haven't been reading these for as long since I was in high school or anything like that. I'm not in my 20s. So I can't be like, oh, I read Twilight before it was cool, because no, I read Twilight before Breaking Dawn Part 1 came out in the movie theater. So I can't claim that. And, you know, a lot of people have said things like they read The Mortal Instruments really early, but in my mind, I did read it early. No one at my school knew about it. I brought it to my school in grade 7 and stuff, so, you know, it came to me as something new. I ended up reading City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, back to back, not a few summers ago now. It'd be almost 3 or 4 years now. It was before Clockwork Angel came out. I actually had to wait for all 3 Infernal Devices to come out. So, and it was definitely before City of Fallen Angels. So I consider that quite a chunk of time ago, especially for the fact that I was still not super duper into the YA genre when I picked it up, and I hadn't heard anyone talk about it. It was my stepdad who was like, you should try the City of Bones book. Think you'll like it, and I'm very, very thankful for what he did. Next up is MySpace, which is a book you can't even remember if you liked it or not. So for this, I'm going with something that I read before I got Goodreads, because I have Goodreads, I can really keep track of things I liked, genres, everything. And a summer when I was going to Europe once, I decided to read as many Pretty Little Liars as I could. And the thing was, this was before I had Goodreads. And there's I think we're reading on number 16. So I have no clue between the numbers of 13 and 1, how much I liked them. I don't know if I'd give them 5 or 4 stars. You know, I know the last few because I did have Goodreads, and I thought the last few were extremely good Pretty Little Liars books, but I don't know about the other ones. So next up is Instagram, and it's a book that was so beautiful you had to Instagram it. So I don't get physical books very often, so if I do get a physical book, I tend to Instagram it. So I have here City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare, and that was the last book cover I think I Instagrammed. I'll Instagram maybe where I am in a book or from my Kindle if I'm doing a certain hashtag, but this one I just Instagram because I needed to show everybody that I've got it. YouTube is a book you wish could be turned into a movie, and I thought about this one quite hard because you worry when your favorite book becomes a movie that they'll ruin it. And part of me also likes things being kept sort of in my little world and people don't understand it. And I guess that's the slight mentality I have with some of them, that I want to keep them small fan based, not big. But something that I think would make a really cute rom-com is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and technically like any Rainbow Rowell book, I'd love to see it turn into a romantic comedy. I know they're working on Eleanor and Park. I know she's writing the screenplay for it, which I think is amazing. But Fangirl is my favorite book by Rainbow Rowell, and I absolutely love it. And I know that you might not get the biggest fan base out of it besides the book readers because of the way it is about being a fangirl, but I think it can be relatable to other people in other ways, and that is just so sweet and adorable. So next up is my favorite social media, Goodreads, and it's a book you recommend to everyone. So I decided to say 2 book series that I haven't actually heard a lot about on BookTube, and I read them before even someone mentioned one of them. So one of them is the Librarian Legacy by Sarah Rees Brennan, and I picked this up because I met Sarah Rees Brennan at a Cassandra Clare book signing, and I thought she was absolutely hilarious, so I wanted to read something by her to understand sort of how her humor would fit into her stories, and her humor fits in beautifully with this trilogy is hilarious. All 3 are out. You can marathon them, but they're just so good. I'm so connected to the characters. I love the world. The length is great. And I've heard Reagan from Peruse Project talk about it when she read them, at least unspoken and untold. And now is something I actually haven't heard anyone talk about, and that's the Legion series by Cami Garcia. Unbreakable is the first book, and it's got that kind of horror movie feel, but it's written intelligently into a book. It's got, you know, your vengeful spirits and your salt lines, and you're trying to defeat them, but it's not jump scares, scary house, stupid family. It's so intelligent, and I absolutely love the characters in it. Weird thing, both these series have Jared that I'm obsessed with. Jared Lockhart, Jared Lyvern. Thank you so much for watching my social media book